Hi everybody. Hi, welcome to Hey What's Cooking today. So let me take my ladle. Yeah, let me get it ready. Okay, so what I'm going to say is this. Today I'll be making a variations in cooking. So it will be like a part three-part thing. So today is the part one, next week will be part two, the following week will be part three. So I'll be doing a three-part variations. So the title of it is called Variations or Shifts. Sounds interesting, right? Or sounds like, what is it? And okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to talk about how you can use two ingredients and adapt in terms of cooking. Okay? Because sometimes in cooking, you may not have the ingredients. Let's say, for example, you move to a new city or you move to a new town and you may not have the ingredients that you really want. And so what are you going to do? How are you going to shift? How are you going to adapt? So I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so so I'm going to talk about how you can use two ingredients. So today I'm going to show you what you can do when you're using two ingredients, and the two ingredients are shrimps and asparagus. Ooh. Okay, so what you can do with these two ingredients. So I was thinking, I want to make fried rice, but I don't have the roast pork. I don't have certain ingredients. So what can I do? So I thought of using shrimp and asparagus for fried rice. Today we are doing shrimp fried rice, and asparagus fried rice. So what ingredients do you need? Okay, of course, like what I said, these two ingredients, shrimp, these are the main two ingredients, and asparagus. These are the two ingredients. The other ingredient that you need, of course, if you're making fried rice, would be rice. Okay, so what I did was that I cooked the rice the night before. So it is very important, okay, note that when you're making fried rice, you need to cook it the night before, or maybe a few hours, many hours before, at least 5 to 6 hours before. Why? Because you don't want your rice, because especially when you have just cooked the rice, your rice gets a bit soft and a bit soggy. And when you make the fried rice, immediately it becomes soggy rice. You don't want that. Because when the thing about fried rice is that it has to be crisp, and it has to be really I don't know the right word to use, but the pearly, or it has to be dry in terms of fried rice. Okay, no one eats soft fried rice. Okay, so that's why you cook the rice the night before, put it in a container, and you put it in the fridge, right? Okay, I'm making for one person. Okay, so I'm gonna have dinner early, so because today I'll be going for Aikido at 7 p.m. so I gotta eat earlier, so I'll be eating earlier. Okay, so I'll be cooking fried rice for myself today, right? The other ingredient that you need would be eggs. Okay, yeah, okay, one egg, right? And of course you will need ginger water. I will explain to you why you need ginger water. And you need these are the other minor ingredients. Okay, and tamari sauce, sesame oil, white pepper, salt, garlic, and of course you need sake. Okay, let me turn on the stove. Okay, while we're waiting for the stove to heat up, let me put on a smaller heat. Okay, so what do we need to do? All right, so first you need to marinate the shrimp. Okay, so put a little bit of salt, just a little bit. Okay. 1 tablespoon of ginger water. So what is ginger water? Is when you have pounded the ginger in a little bit of water using the mortar and pestle, and that's what it's called, ginger water. A little bit of ginger water. Okay. A little bit of sesame oil. White pepper. And 1 tablespoon of sake. So marinate the shrimp. Let me put the heat a little bit higher. So marinate the shrimp. Yep. Okay, so a little bit of my other main ingredient. So as you can notice that I've cut the asparagus into like strips like that. Okay, so cut the asparagus into little bits of pieces like that. Okay. Okay, let me put the oil. So first, we're gonna fry the main ingredients first. Okay. So you're gonna fry the main ingredients of asparagus and the shrimp. Okay. Let me mention. So I was thinking about what to cook this week, and I was thinking about shifts. Okay, the word shift came to my mind, and the other word that came to my mind was variations. Okay, so, and isn't it characteristics of what we are all going through right now, even though it's 2021, you know, even though so many of us, we feel that, you know, if 2021 comes, you know, the clock would magically set, and then whatever thing that has happened in 2020 would just magically disappear, you know, and everything would just magically, you know, like that's like Cinderella, you know, the whip of the wand, you know, everything would just change and wow, come back to normal. But things are slowly, painfully coming back to normal, and people are slow, you know, it's not an easy process, the shifts. Okay, all right, so I sorry about that, I forgot to mention this before I was talking. So sometimes when I'm cooking, I get so wrapped up in my whatever I'm talking. Okay, so what I did was that I added the garlic. So now I'm going to add the asparagus. Okay. Why asparagus? Because asparagus takes some time to cook, a little while to cook. Okay, let me put it after it. Not too hot. Yeah. Okay. So cook the asparagus until it turns greenish. You don't want it to be cooking until it's pale green. You know, it doesn't look nice anymore, you know, and it looks, yeah, you know, so the thing about vegetables is that you need to cook it until it's, you know, the bright green kind of color, yeah, okay, then now you add the shrimp. Okay. Heat a little bit more. So as I was mentioning, you know, that we hope magically that 2021 would just appear, and then, you know, like the whip of the wand, things just change and things just look normal again. But it doesn't, okay? And sometimes we get frustrated and we're wondering, you know, how come things are so slow? and things take a long time. Because imagine 2020 was like a major pause in everybody's life, in the whole wide world. So sometimes in this main pause that the world is going through, it takes time for the wheels to unclog. It takes time for the engine to start. It's like for those who have a car, you know when you go for vacation and you leave your car in the garage for 2-3 weeks, and then it takes time for your car to start, right? The engine, okay? So think about it, that the world is going through a major shift, okay? A major big shift that it takes time for the engine to start, for things to get going, for everything to be in order again. And it's not easy, okay? So in the midst of all this change, in the midst of all this shift, so how do we manage? How do we cope, when, let's say, for example, okay, very real example, like for example, some of us, we might be we might have applied for jobs, and it takes time for the companies to get back to us, and we have been waiting for a month or so, and how come the company hasn't got back to us? Okay, very real stuff. Okay, or sometimes some of us will be wondering, when are the borders going to open? These are very real concerns. So what can we do while waiting? Okay, what can we do in the midst of all these? Okay, so I was thinking and meditating, right? So what we can do is this. Number one, we think about, we cannot change the other person's perceptions. You cannot change how the company does whatever they want to do, how long or how fast they'll get back to you. But one thing you can change is your own reaction or your own choices in life. Okay, because at the end of the day, we always have a choice. Okay, pause. Yeah, pause. Hold that thought. Okay, so now I'm frying the asparagus and the shrimp. So I'm gonna add the rice. Okay, in the mix. Okay. Ooh, it smells nice. I'm so excited. Okay, so okay, fry the rice. Make sure that it's coated evenly with the oil, and coats the rice evenly. Yeah. Okay. So let it fry, especially with high heat. Okay. So the thing about fried rice, as I mentioned, it should be like it should be dry, not soggy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ah, smells so nice. Okay. So what am I going to do now? So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to add in the egg. Okay. So in the egg, I'm going to add in seasoning. Half a tablespoon of tamari sauce. Okay. You don't want too much, because it depends on how much rice it is. Okay. So if it's a small quantity, you don't want to add too much. Right? Be too saltish already. And a little bit of white pepper. A little bit of sesame oil. And a little bit of sake. Okay, so you can add 1 tablespoon for that. Yeah. Okay. Alright, and I am going to pour the egg over the fried rice. Yum, looks nice. Okay, so throughout this whole thing, use high heat. Okay, because for fried rice, you want the rice to be coated, to be dry, not soggy. Okay, and no time the rice is soggy, especially with fried rice. Okay, so just make sure that it's dry. That's why you use higher heat, and that is why you use the rice that is that you have cooked the night before. Very, very important. So as I mentioned, where was I? Yeah. So it's what we can control is our own reactions, pretty much so. Okay? So as I am cooking this, let me show you the card. Okay, for today. So the card for today is called Shift. Right. So what stood out for me was the picture and the words. Okay. So I like the fact where I think the cocoon is positioned on a little basket. Okay, and we know that pretty soon it's going to shift. It's going to become a butterfly. Okay, the butterfly is going to emerge. And the other word that the other thing that that stood out for me was the word shift. So it's not easy, isn't it? Shifting. Okay. So, but we do have a choice, okay? We always have a choice. So, while you're waiting for the outcome of things to happen, like, for example, a job, a news from a job, or a news from someone, okay? And you do not have that control, all right? But one thing that you can control will be your own reaction, okay? So, I like to quote to you this quotation taken from Points of View, the Flow series, and this quote is taken from Carol Burnett, and she says this: "Only I can change my life. No one can do it for me." Okay, let me repeat: only I can change my life. No one can do it for me. So this week, think about one thing that you like to shift. It can be a minor thing. It can be in terms of fitness. It can be in terms of eating. It can be anything. So the control is in your hands. Okay, so that's it. And let me scoop up my rice. I am going to scoop up my rice. Okay, let me take a spoon and on. Oh wow, look at that. So let me have a taste of this. It tastes so good. Not soggy, but just at the right texture. And I love the crunchiness of the asparagus, and it goes so well with the shrimp. Okay, so whoever thought that you can cook asparagus fried rice together with shrimp? All right, so that's the fried rice. All right, so that's it, folks, and see you next week for part 2 of variations. So let's see what we can whip up with 2 ingredients. So have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Okay, talk to you next week.